This is a video from eSkills Zone. For more videos, notes, and certificates, please visit www.eskillszone.com.
Hello and welcome. Hi viewers. Today in this video we will learn space dollar function, which is a built-in string function in GW basic programming language. So let's start. The purpose is to return a string of x spaces. X is rounded to an integer and must be within the range of 0 to 255. The format is space dollar. Dollar is always used with the string function, and the argument can be any x, any value, any argument. Examples is on line 10 for n equal to 1 to 5, line 20 x dollar equal to space dollar, and line 30 print x dollar semicolon n. The semicolon is used as a space over here. Line number 40 next n used to close the loop, and when we run this program, then the output would be like 1, 2, 3. Every time there will be space on the next line because this semicolon adds a space. Then 4, and then in the end 5, because 5 is the last value of this loop, so 5 is the last value. So we have observed that line 20 add 1 space for each iteration. So let's switch to the IDE. We will execute this program and we'll see that how this program gives and generates the output 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On every next line you can see there's a space for printing all these numbers from 1 to 5. So let's switch to the IDE. Here we are. We will type on line 10 for n equal to 1 to 5. Line 20 we will type x dollar equal to space dollar, and line 30 print x dollar semicolon, and line 40 next n. And when we run this program you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see that there are spaces and n is an increment. With an increment of every value you can see the 1 space on every next line. And if we write this program and if we type for n equal to 1 to 5, but here we will increment it with the value 2, and then of, or we can type in this way, if we for n is equal to 1 to 10 and step 2, so there will be an increment of 2 every time. When we use this space dollar function x dollar, will be the variable which will be storing the value of space dollar and n contains the increment of 2. So we will see the next output of this program with a double spacing on every next line when the value is 1 1 3 5 7, because there is an increment of 2, so we will see 1 3 5 7 9 and 9 on the screen. Space $n, line number 30, print $x semicolon, and on line 40 next n. Now we'll run this program, so you can see 1 3 5 7, and because there was an increment of 2, so this space dollar is and with argument n is now stored in $x, and this $x is used to first print the spaces and then the value of n, and the value of n is always from 1 to 10 with an increment of 2. So the first value will be 1, and with an increment of 2 it will become 3, and then increment of 2 makes 5, and then 7, and then 9. Because the last one is 10, we can not see the value of 10 because we can only show and print 5 numbers on the screen with an increment of 2. So every time we give this increment, we can see more spaces on the before the digit which we want to print and display on the screen. So let's discuss this program in the text area. I'm going to interpret all these two programs to you guys in detail. So let's switch to the IDE. So I'm going to interpret this program to you guys on line 10. For loop is used with variable named n with initial value 1 and final value 5. Since there is no step keyword used, which means there will be an increment of 1, or you can say the iteration of 1. On line 20, space dollar and function with argument n is assigned and then stored to string variable named $x on the left hand side by using assignment operator. On line 30, print statement is used to display the values now stored in variable named $x and with a semicolon used for spacing, and then print the value of n space dollar and is used to put spaces with an increment of 1, which means that because it contains the argument n, so n is incrementing with 1, so every time there is an increment of 1, well, you can see 1, after that 2, and then 3, and then 4 and 5. So every time the space dollar function put a space on each and every next line, means that space and $n is used to put spaces with an increment of 1. It means that on every next line you can see a space for every single digit being printed on the screen. So this very function is used to return a string of x spaces. So here we have used x, here we have used n in this program. It can be any variable, x, n, m, n, l, any kind of letter you can use. So this is the whole execution of this program. Likewise, if I interpret this very program, okay, on line 10, for loop is used with variable named n with initial value 1 and final value 10 with an increment of 2, means that the first value of n will be 1, and then adding 2 into it, next value will become 3, and then 5, and then 7, and in the end the last value will become 9. On line 20, space dollar with argument n, as discussed above, is assigned and then stored to string variable named x dollar on the left hand side using assignment operator equal to symbol. Now x dollar actually contains the spaces with an increment of 2, and on line 30 print statement is used to display the spaces with increment of 2 characters before the values displayed as stored in variable named n. Now n contains the value 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9, but this x dollar before n contains spacing, which is actually used to put spaces before every next digit being printed on the screen. So first digit is 1, but before 3 you can see 2 different spaces, character spacing, which is used with the x dollar, because x dollar is used with the space dollar n, and n contains the increment of 2. So every time speed dollar put spacing of 2 different characters like this. Before 5 you can see 2 different characters spacing, before 7 2 different characters spacing, 2 digit spacing, 2 character spacings for before every next single digit being printed on the next line. So this is how this program is executed. So next N is always used to close the loop's execution. So on line 40, next N is used to close the execution, to terminate action, to terminate when as soon as the value of the n reaches the value of 10, the loop will be terminated, because the n variable is used over here. So the final value actually checks the final value of the n, and when as soon as the value of n reaches 10, loop will be terminated. On line 40, next n is used to terminate the execution of the loop, execution of the for loop as soon as it reaches its final value. That's all. Thanks for watching, viewers.